Christmas to me is always a promise of hope, joy, and love. Together with the Jesuit Communications and Arete of the Ateneo de Manila University, I wish to invite you to celebrate Christmas with us in a very special concert entitled The Third Noel, Light Up the World, spreading hope in solidarity with all the nations. The show will be streamed on December 11, 7:30 in the evening on the Facebook pages of the Jesuit Communications, Radio Katipunan, Arete, and other social media partners. May the light of Christmas spirit shine forth from within our hearts.
Christmas to me is family. Together with Jesuit Communications and Arete of the Ateneo de Manila University, I wish to invite you to celebrate Christmas with us in a very special concert entitled The Third Noel, Light Up the World, Spreading Hope in Solidarity with All Nations. The show will be streamed on December 11, 7:30 in the evening on the Facebook pages of Jesuit Communications, Radio Katipunan, and Arete, and other social media partners. May the light of Christmas spirit shine forth within our hearts.
Christmas to me means the peace of Christ ruling our hearts. Peace in the midst of restlessness, confidence in the midst of discouragement, joy in the midst of sadness, and courage in the midst of trial. Christmas is Emmanuel, God with us. Together with Jesuit Communications and Arete of the Ateneo de Manila University, I wish to invite you to celebrate Christmas with us in a very special concert entitled The Third Noel, Light Up the World, Spreading Hope in Solidarity with All Nations. The show will be streamed on December 11, 7:30 in the evening on the Facebook pages of Jesuit Communications, Radio Katipunan, Arete, and other social media partners. May the light of Christmas spirit shine forth from within our hearts.
The Voice of the Blue Eagle, Radyo Katipunan, 87.9.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. The Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atin sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugo, todo sa kayod, tulong at tulong.
Palalimin ang kamalayan sa mga isyong napapanahon. Makisangkot at makiisa kasama ang Simbahang Lingkod ng Bayan, ang socio-political apostolate ng Kapisanan ni Hesus. Ito ang Kuwentuhang Bayan mula alas 11 ng umaga tuwing Biyernes dito lang sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Dahil naniniwala kami na posible ang isang mas mabuting lipunan at maaari itong simulan sa isang kwentuhan.
One. Ayan, magandang umaga po sa ating mga katipuneros and welcome to our December 11 program for Kuwentuhang Bayan dito sa Radyo Katipunan. Magandang umaga po. Ako si Brother Ed Colmenares.
Ako naman po si Brother Bok Arandia.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Ako po si Brother Carlo Lacan.
Ayun.
Ayan.
Okay. Kuya Bok,
Brother
what's
Ed,
for
this
us
is our
today?
last episode for the year. Imagine, it's been a long year for all of us, no? Ang haba-haba ng 2020, ang daming ganap sa 2020, ang daming pagsubok tayong kinaharap kasama ang ating mga kababayan. At itong episode na to, napaka-espesyal, no, para sa atin sapagkat ito na rin siguro yung paraan natin sa paghahanda sa darating na Kapaskuhan. At ang ating panauhing pangdangal, di ba?
Wow.
Ang ating special guest ay mula sa isa sa I think one of the important ministries, no, of the province, no, of the Society of Jesus here in the Philippines, ang ating Jesuit Prison Service, no? Philippine Jesuit Prison Service. At walang iba, ang ating mga kasama sa umagang ito ay ang Executive Director ng PJPS na si Father Eli Lumbo. So ngayon, let us welcome Father Eli.
Ayun. So, nasa waiting room pa, papasok na.
Ayan na.
Excited na yun siya kanina.
Oo.
Actually, yung
Ayun, si
isa
Father.
natin gustong malaman, parang paano nga ba ipinagdiriwang ang Kapaskuhan, no, sa
Correct.
loob ng Muntinlupa, sa loob ng Bilibid. So, Father Eli, welcome to Kuwentuhang Bayan.
Ayun, magandang umaga, Father Eli. Mukhang nakamute pa yata si
Good
Father.
morning, Father.
Good morning. Thank you for
Good morning
having me.
po.
Yes, Father, welcome po to our last episode of the year, our Christmas episode.
Thank you.
Father, siguro you can start by sharing, no, yung, how it is to be part of the prison service, prison ministry ng ating province. No? You've been there for several years as Executive Director. Ano ba ang halaga, ano ba ang papel ng PJPS, no, sa buhay ng ating mga PDL, so yung mga persons deprived of liberty sa loob ng Bilibid?
Ano ba? Paano ko ba sagutin yan? Halos magsasampung taon na ako this year. So by May 2021, I'll be 10 years here in PJPS. Palagi ko binabanggit na I've been blessed, to be part of this ministry. It's like maybe going full circle, kasi when I was a pre-novice, I was here every Sunday, with Father Vic Labao then, who started PJPS. So almost 5 years ago, I think, when he came over, we interviewed him for the Benteng Salamat, 20th year of PJPS, he was saying pwede na daw siya mamatay kasi nandito na ako. Parang nakasakasama siya nung pumunta pa siya dati dito. And back then, I would always say na iba talaga yung karanasan na pumunta dito sa Bilibid. You get to hear their stories. So that's why one of the reasons why I make it a point. So,
Ayun.
hello?
Yes, Father.
Tsaka
So,
medyo timing na yan, diyan siya nag-pause.
So,
Father, nag-pause po kayo.
hanggang ngayon?
Hindi, okay na. Ayan.
Okay na, Father.
Okay. So, iba yung karanasan dito kasi parang sinasabi ko nga palagi sa mga kaibigan, the ministry, the Philippine Jesuit Prison Service has somehow deepened my vocation. No? Kasi ito naman actually yung gusto ko dati, yung talagang mission. Although kasi nabuhay naman yung aking bokasyon sa pakikinig sa mga kwento ng mga missionaries, but I haven't really been mission abroad, except for yung parang foreign mission ng talaga ng theologian kami during the summer after first year theology. Yun yung may parang foreign mission exposure, pero dito I will say that the ministry has deepened my vocation. Kasi parang hindi lang ako o hindi lang yung mga PDLs kumbaga na natutulungan kumbaga, pati mga tulad ko, no, or volunteers. I always remember one person from Alabang who came here many years ago, siguro mga 5 or 6 years ago. He said when he came over, sabi ko, bakit ba po kayo pumunta dito? Sabi niya, Father, I've been blessed in this life and I'd like to share my blessings. So yun yung kanyang mindset. No? He came to share his blessings. Tapos dinala ko siya sa maximum, sa medium. Tapos after that, which is what we normally do, may parang debriefing na tinatawag para mabahagi nila at least mabahagi nila yung karanasan nila. Tapos sabi niya, Father, malala mo yung sinabi ko. Sabi ko, opo, you said you came here to share your blessings because you've been blessed. Tapos sabi niya, Father, after ko nakausap yung mga PDL, hindi ko na alam kung sino talaga ang blessed. Kasi sobra akong na-antig. Sobra akong na-apektuhan sa pakikinig sa kanilang kwento. Maraming kulang sa buhay nila, sa loob, nakabilanggo sila, pero masaya sila. May mga ilan sa kanila natanggap na yung pagkabilanggo. So, sabi niya, in my sharing, my listening to them, in sharing stories, they sharing their stories with me, I came to think that they are more blessed than I am. I came to share my blessings, but it is I who have been blessed by the experience. So parang ganun yung sa akin, no? Parang kaya ko pinili rin dito upon the recommendation also, but I happily agreed na dito ako mag-final vows September 8, 2016. So sa loob ng bilangguan. So iba talaga yung karanasan. Daming kwento na nakapapalalim. I'm sabi nga parang in the front lines kami dito or in the frontiers working with the poorest of the poor, and kasi hindi lang sila yung last, yung least, but also the lost. So yun.
Yes, yung karanasan, I think lahat tayo, Brother Carlo and Brother Ed, part of our formation, nakadalaw tayo sa loob. In yung first time really, no, talagang I guess siguro yung kasi pumapasok tayo, marami tayong mga impressions na ng mga PDLs natin, Pero pagkakaharap mo na sila at naririnig mo na yung kwento, doon talagang nagiging totoo na sila, katulad rin natin, taong-tao, katulad din natin, tayo din naman, nagkaroon din tayo ng mga pagkakasala, At sila, pinagbabayaran nila yon, yung naging consequence ng mga kanilang actions and kanilang mga decisions in life. But I think yung sa akin, yung habag at yung awa ng Diyos na sa kabila ng mga pagkakamali natin sa buhay, binibigyan tayo ng panibagong pagkakataon. Ikaw, Brother Carlo, ano ang tama sa iyo nung ministry ng PJPS? At anong gusto mong itanong kay Father Eli?
Yes, Brother Bok. Sa kagaya ng sinabi ni Father Eli at kagaya ng sinabi mo, Brother Bok, napaka laking tulong ng actual contact with the PDLs para makita mo na hindi lamang sila mga taong nakakulong, mga taong nakagawa ng krimen, kundi sila ay mga taong may kwento. Mga taong kagaya nila ay sinusubukan din maging mabuti. Kadalasan na ang nalalaman natin tungkol sa kanila ay through news na nagkakagulo sa maximum, nagkakagulo sa medium, at napakahalaga na makita natin that they're more than the violence that we hear from the news every day. And so one of the questions I want to ask Father Eli is, Father, you've mentioned those compounds inside the maximum, the medium, and the minimum. Can you tell what those communities look like and what your everyday ministry for them is like, Father? Para mabigyan ng ideya yung ating mga nakikinig kung ano yung pang-araw-araw na ginagawa ng mga Jesuita at ng mga volunteers ng PJPS para sa kanila.
Una sa lahat, siguro dapat parang maalala natin na ang nasa Bilibid, no, where PJPS is a national penitentiary. So those who are here are national offenders. So sila na yung kumaga na nahatulan na guilty ng mga korte. Kaya from the prison, from the city or provincial jails, pag nahatulan na sila ng korte, dinadala na sila dito sa reception and diagnostic center. So they stay there for 2 to 3 months kasi may assessment, may evaluation, may diagnostics na tinatawag. And after that, maximum of 3 months, dinadala sila either sa medium or maximum. So sa maximum, 20 years and above ang sentensya, pati yung mga on appeal, pati yung mga recidivists, yung balik bilibid kumbaga, nakasala ulit sa lipunan. Tapos yung medium naman 20 years below. Tapos we have the minimum, pero ano sila dito, hindi walang galing RDC na diretso sa minimum kasi minimum naman less than 5 years na, so halos karamihan doon mga matatanda na. So sa maximum ang suot nila ay orange, no? And they're right now, I think there are around 18,000 PDLs there. Tapos sa medium, around 8,000. So total of 26,000. Tapos minimum a little over 1,000. Tapos a little over 1,000 din sa RDC. Pero sa, di ba, since late last year, I think, may mga returnees tayo na tinatawag, yung mga napalaya na dahil sa good conduct time allowance, yung GCTA. Pero dahil sa issues about how the law was or how their sentences were paano lumabas yung computed, no? Naging issue yun lalo na kay Kalawan Mayor Sanchez, di ba? So marami nang surrender. So in medium, there are almost 200 returnees. Tapos sa minimum, a little lesser. So, kumaga, based on the number, there are almost 30,000 PDLs here, male PDLs. But we also help sa CIW. Ito naman yung Correctional Institute for Women in Mandaluyong. Anong ginagawa namin araw-araw? Siguro before COVID, marami. Regular masses in maximum and medium, everyday yung masses. Tapos sa RDC and minimum twice a week ang masses. But when COVID came in, we had to nahinto yung mga regular masses. Pero mas naging busy pa nga kami. If we were busy before COVID, we were much busier compared to when COVID affected our country, no? And all over the world for that matter. No? Parang nabawasan yung mga misa halos araw-araw. ang mga misa namin dito lang, tapos Sunday masses namin online. Pero may mga araw-araw we make it a point to have our novena prayers dati parang twice a week yata, tapos naging once a week na kasi unti-unti naging busy na rin. But it did not stop us from thinking about how to help the PDLs and the frontliners in the Bureau of Corrections. So kung dati ang focus ay ang mga PDLs, this COVID pandemic, we also attended to the needs of the frontliners in the Bureau of Corrections. Before COVID, I was teaching in the college. I'm an accountant by profession before I entered the society. So I handle all the accounting subjects sa extension school ng University of Perpetual Health in medium security camp. So from basic accounting up to higher accounting. So yun din. So aside from regular masses, I was also teaching. Siyempre may mga counseling din sa mga PDS or mga gusto makipagkwentuhan lang o magkumpisal. So in between masses and classes, yun yung umubos ng panahon. Tapos yung mga request nila, di ba, sa mga pangangailangan, not just the emotional or spiritual aspect, but also their needs as human beings. So we had to attend to that. No? Kaya nung pumasok yung COVID, mas grabe kasi dahil limitado rin initially ang pagpasok ng mga tao sa labas. No? Naging nahinto yung mga regular masses. So in fact, it was just recently, siguro 2 Sundays pa lang na regular masses na sa minimum. Tapos sa medium, since March, there were only 2 masses, noong September 8 and November 8. Tapos kaka-resume lang ng regular Sunday masses, but hindi pa yung mga daily masses. So what caught my daily schedule is yung paghahanap ng mga donors, benefactors to attend to the needs of our PDLs. No? Hindi lang kanilang yung gamot, pati vitamins na, mga face mask, alcohol, pagkain, no? Through Tanging Yaman and Ateneo de Manila, ang Simbahang Lingkod ng Bayan, malaking tulong yun. Truckloads of donations came here. No? Parang feeling ko parang kung busy kami ng PJPS before COVID, we were much busier during this COVID pandemic. And iniisip ko, mas grabe ka busy ang Diyos. Kasi he had to attend to, parang nagugulat na ako araw-araw na kung ano-anong dumadating. Sabi nga, di ba, parang even one of my beloved stories I wrote na tanggap ko lang ng text na kailangan ng mga folding beds para sa mga PDLs. Kasi part of the isolation facility para ang tinatawag na site Harry. So tinanggal yung mga PDLs doon. So naghanap sila ng mga kama. No? Tapos may nag-text sa akin, Father, pwede ba magbigay ako ng mga folding beds? Sabi ko, sige. Pero in my mind, sabi ko, saan kaya tadalhin? Kasi maliit lang naman yung bodega ng PJPS. Tapos after that, siguro wala pang 1 minute, may nag-message sa akin yung isang official ng minimum. And she said, Father, ang daming walang higaan. Pwede ba folding beds ba kayo? So parang ang dami kong karanasan ng gano'n na parang you have just goosebumps or kalabutan ka lang na galing naman, grabe ito. Tapos kwento ko sa kanya, naiyak ako. Bago kwento ko sa kanya, pati siya naiyak na. Sabi ko, galing talaga ng Diyos. No? So I think that's one privilege that I have, and to being in the prison ministry is because I get to recognize and witness God's providence and love and mercy to the PDLs. No? So yun yung siguro, if there's anything that's really siguro kung bottom line, more than doing and teaching and listening, it's really being very busy with finding God or witnessing God's love to the PDLs. Sinasabi ko nga, in one of my articles sa parang sa Winhover, I mentioned there that doing prison ministry is very challenging, but it's also very inspiring. So, ang daming pangangailangan, and yet God provides in His perfect time. So, kaya ako rin, kaya ko sinasabi kanina na I'm blessed to be in this ministry kasi, di ba, and we all have problems naman in our lives, no? Whether personal or with our families or whatever. And to see how God provides for the PDLs at perfect times, no? Parang I tell myself, parang I don't have any reason to doubt God's love. I don't have any reason to question His will. No? So parang yes lang ng yes, kumbaga parang tiwala lang. So yun. So it can be tiring, but grace is there to just kaya kung siguro sabi ng mga tao, gawin ko ng kwento yung mga bilibid stories, pero siguro kung may time na ako palagi magsulat, parang dami-dami na, parang it's just kaya nakakatuwa lang, no? So it's one of the things that's good that gives me is really finding time to write, no? Kasi I feel it's also my responsibility to share the stories, no? To make people, sabi ng mga Carlo na yung mga hindi nakakapasok o hindi nalaman yung kwento o ang nalalaman lang yung mga riots, mga negative publicities. I think it's part of my responsibility or part of even my calling to share the stories, that there are very good stories, inspiring stories behind the walls. There are stories that really touch the heart and even the soul. No? That's stories that tell me, and I'd like to share that with people, that tell us that although we see that these are PDLs who have committed mistakes or crimes or violent crimes against society, they are still God's children. They are still human beings with families. They are still human beings capable of loving, and they are loved by people. So that we should be open and aware of that reality every day. Sabi mo nga, Ed, kanina parang, or si Bokbe, sabi kanina na yun yan, nahuhusgahan yung mga tao sa loob, pero we forget that we are also sinners. And yun nga sabi ng isang PDL dati kay Father Willie yata yun, na ang kaibahan lang naman ng mga PDLs or mga inmates, which is what they were called before, and us who are in different society, sila nahuli na, tayo hindi. So, yun is the reality.
Ngayon, Ed, nauunawaan ko na kung bakit walang kapaguran si Father Eli. How enriching the ministry is, no? And how God has been very faithful and constant, no, in His work in PJPS.
Actually nga, yun yung napansin ko nga din na Bok and Carlo, no? Habang nagkukwento si Father Eli, parang daming ginagawa, whether it was before the pandemic or right now that we're in the pandemic. But napaka palpable, napaka ramdam yung consolation and joy that he shares. And actually, I must confess, I'm a little bit of a fan of the Bilibid stories. Every time that gets published.
Siguro i-promote natin, Ed. They can follow Father Eli on Facebook, no? Para they can also read his sharings, no, on his experiences with our PDLs.
Correct.
Yung Bilibid stories.
Very, it's a dose of inspiration always every time I see that note being published on Facebook and it appears on my news feed, no? And I guess it's tulad nga ng binanggit ni Father Eli, and even the story that he shared earlier, that because we often have our own notions of people who are inside, that we forget na their mistakes do not define them. in that sense, and there's always something that goes beyond. It actually brings back my own memories of my own apostolate. Kasi I was not assigned here in Manila for my pre-novitiate year. I was in Cagayan, but I was doing my Sunday apostolate there was with the city jail. So parang yun din yung nakikita kong parallels, and very wonderful full experience of the prison ministry, no? Siguro, Father Eli, since you mentioned already something about the bilibid stories, and actually parang medyo nabanggit mo na nga, but I am curious, how did the inspiration start to share those experiences to others?
Before I start, kasi basically I'm a maybe you call a reserved person, di ba? Parang hindi talaga ako yung makwento, di ba? Matahimik akong tao. But siguro after 5 years here, parang naisip ko lang, parang dami-dami ko ng karanasan. And siguro it was around that time na napansin ko, at napansin ng mga tao nga, even the provincials, na parang kasing haba ko na yung, kasi the longest before me, the Jesuits, the longest Jesuits assigned here was for 5 years. So Father Willie, Father Jun Boris, and Father John J. Sumpayco. So mga 5 years na sila. So ako parang nag 6 years na ako. Tapos sabi ko, what keeps me going? Sabi niya nga parang sabi ko it's the it's the stories. It's the getting to talk with the PDLs and know them and feel with them and see how God moves in their lives. At what really yung made me decide to write was yung before my final vows, kasi it was in the RDC, yung Reception Diagnostic Center. So before the final blessing, I was asked to sit by to take my seat by the commentator, the PDL. And he said, it was September 7. Sabi niya, mga kapatid, bukas, manunumpa panghabang buhay na si Father Eli. Wala tayo doon kasi sa kabilang kampo siya manunumpa. So ang gawin natin, itaas natin ating mga kamay sa kanya, tapos ipagdasal natin siya. So yun yung parang I found that experience really overwhelming, na iyak lang ako ng iyak. As in talagang nakaupo ako, tapos talagang the tears are just pouring, and sabi ko, here are, di ba, I was saying parang I've witnessed how God takes care of them and listens to their prayers and comforts them and gives them strength. And tapos sabi ko sa sarili ko, ito yung they were the ones praying for me, praying over me, and having hands above me. Tapos talagang earnest desire. Tapos I was just siguro overwhelmed and really very happy with the experience na pinagdadasal ako ng mga taong pinapakinggan ng Diyos. It was not thinking about there were sinful people. They were God's beloved, na who God listens to and cares for. So for them praying over me, praying with me, was just overwhelming and overpowering. So yun yung actually I think yun yung talagang unang story ko eh. So that next day yun na, tuloy-tuloy na yung mga kwento hanggang even 4 years after, I'm still writing stories, no, which yun talaga yung naging tulak kumaga para magkwento, kasi I feel yun nga, parang it's not just my responsibility. It would be selfish of me to just experience the grace on my own and not share it. So I feel the challenge and the call really is to share. So, and I didn't know, parang sabi ko nga sa mga kasama ko dito, mga poti volunteers, parang I think the Bilibid stories have become a life of their own. Parang God inspires me. Sometimes naiisip ko parang wala na ako masusulat, pero bigla na lang yan may mangyayari, tapos ayan na, sulat na ako ng sulat kahit kinagabi na ako, kahit ano, kasi parang kung hayaan ko lang manatili sa akin yung kwento sa puso ko, wala, parang siguro iyak ako ng iyak. No? Although some are many of my Facebook friends, no, na sinasabi na marami na ako na narinig na kwento na tanong na sabi sa akin, Father, umiyak ka ba habang nagsusulat? Parang gano'n yung, kasi parang it's ano yun, dyan yung emotion habang nagsusulat ako. Parang it's my way also maybe of not just sharing but also to feel more and to experience more the blessing, and in sharing the blessing I feel I'm also sharing the blessing to others. Sorry. Yun yung kaya siguro naging yung kwento no, ng Believe in Stories kasi and also the affirmations that like what Ed said, no, parang I didn't know how of the impact it would have on people, but nakakaano rin siya yung pati yung comments or sometimes people would PM me and tell me how the story has made an impact on them or even has changed how they see PDLs. Sabi ko, so kaya yung resolution na I have to keep doing this. No? Kasi hindi na siya hindi lang siya basta ako sumusulat. It has the power of the word, kumbaga, di ba? The power of sharing the story.
Yeah.
It has an impact on people, and hindi ko naman iniisip yung pagsusulat kung anong impact sa ibang tao, pero reading the comments, or receiving texts or PMs or even calls or emails, sabi ko, nakaka siya, yung tinding balahibo lang. No? I didn't know that this would be the impact of the stories. Kasi yun ang katotohanan naman dito, I'm sharing real stories. Real experiences of people, of things I've witnessed to, or stories that have been shared with me. So yun talaga parang kaya ako sinasabi siguro na when I was invited dun sa Senate, sa Congress, as a resource person, that's why, or even when I asked to do interviews, one of the things that I always say is before we judge people, especially those behind bars or those in prison, let us know their stories. What we know of these people are the crimes they did, but we don't know why they did it in the first place, or we don't even know if they're really guilty of the crime, because I've spoken with so many people here who didn't have the resources or the education or the connections to do something about their being in prison. So know their stories, know their backgrounds, know their families, even if they have families at all. See, there are people here also who didn't have the experience of growing up in a family, who grew up in the streets, had to survive on their own. So ang daling sabihin ng isang tao na patay na yan o ibilanggo na yan, if they don't know the story. If we say it from the comfort of our homes, our families, if we have been nourished and showered with love and affection, but what about those who have never experienced love or genuine concern, care? Can we blame these people? They are at fault. That's the reality, but can we blame them? Can we not also ask ourselves, what did we not do to help these people not get into prison? Diba? Parang nag-uusga lang tayo, we point fingers at them. But we should also point fingers at ourselves. Ano man naging kasalanan ko dito? Diba?
Maraming salamat, Father Eli. Parang Brother Ed, Brother Carlo, um, yung ministry ng PGPS ni Father Eli, it's really giving a voice, no, to our PDLs. So parang nagkakaroon ng pagkakataon na ibahagi yung mahalagang kwento at para nga mas magkaroon ng pag-uunawa. At tayo din, we can also extend mercy and compassion to our brothers and sisters who are inside these prisons, these correctional facilities. And yung ano nga dapat yung pagtingin na ang correction system is to restore, ba yung tawag nila restorative justice. Pagbabalik ng dignidad, no, dun sa tao na nasangkot sa mga iba't ibang krimen. Ano? Ang isa sa mga gusto ko din, I'm very curious also to learn about, dahil nga di ba malapit na ang Kapaskuhan, no? Tayo ay nasa panahon na ng Adbyento. Father Eddie, paano ba ang Pasko, no, sa loob ng bilibid? Paano ba ipinagdidiwang ang Pasko at ano ba ang pinagkakaabalahan? Ano ang inaasahan ng mga kapatid natin sa loob, no, sa tutuwing darating ang panahon ng Kapaskuhan?
Para sa karamihan ng PDLs, ang Pasko ay pinakamahirap na panahon sa buong taon. Diba? For the simple reason that Christmas is family, diba? Christmas is love. Tapos, wala yun eh. They're not with their families. They're not with the people they love. So, mas angat yung mga emosyon, yung kalungkutan sa panahon ng Pasko. At lalo na ngayon, di ba? Kasi at least dati, before COVID, and the effects of the lockdown in prison, kasi hanggang ngayon wala pa rin mga dalaw, wala. Even the mga religious volunteers or outreach programs, wala. So, zero. So, ano ngayon? Diba? How will they celebrate Christmas? No? Kaya, siguro yung parang reflection the past weeks, kasi yung, di ba, pumasok sa Advent nga. Whenever I enter the prison camp, lalo na sa medium kasi I'm more regular there. Kasi dahil nga nagtuturo rin ako. Nag-resume na kasi yung pagtuturo, pero modular din. So, I was asked to choose former students who graduated already. Tapos sila yung tinuturuan ko. Tapos sila yung nagtuturo sa mga estudyante ko dapat. No? So, parang pagod siya kasi siyempre, iba yun. I don't really know where my students are at. Di ba? So, pero palagi nilang sinasabi sa akin or may mga sumusulat na lang na Father, pag pumapasok ka, naalala namin yung pag-asa. Lalo na pag pumasok, hindi ba, the first 2 weeks, and pag light the Advent candles, talk about this, this week is about hope. So parang, sabi ko, it's not anymore about, this is not about me. This is about giving hope about God. Parang yun yung parang how do I make them, or how do I help them realize the essence of Christmas kahit mahirap. Kasi marami talaga nalulungkot na, Father, paano na ang Pasko? Walang dalaw. For every year, what I used to do was every Christmas, mga estudyante ko at mga chapel workers, I gather them. Tapos I gather funds or gifts para at least may special na kainan. Tapos may mga raffle, yung lang, parang matuwa lang sila. So, may mga sumusulat na sa akin, Father, paano na yun? So parang it's a question of what will they look forward to? No? Sa Advento, what do they hope for? So parang yun yung yun yung mga tanong sa karamihan, kundi man sa lahat. No? Parang, ano na ngayon ang Pasko? Although, I feel so much what one of the Spanish priests, he wrote a poem about Christmas. Ano pa ba yun? And I think Pope Francis called him and commended him for his poem. Parang na-post yata yun ni Ben na parang yun, Pasko pa rin, but it's going back to the basics of Christmas. Mas simple, no frills, no decorations, no gifts even. Parang just the first Christmas, simple. Pero ang dali kasi sabihin, pero for the PDLs who have been in prison for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, how do you say that? So kaya itong nakarang mga araw, maraming request na Christmas lights, kahit paano, paalala sa kanila magpapasko na. Parang all in my heart, parang nalulungkot ako para sa kanila, pero yun yung parang the hope also that God will not forsake them. He will surprise them as He has surprised me and many others. So yun lang yung paano kaya ang plano namin dito sa PJPS ngayong parating na Pasko, ang isang project namin ay yung parang Noche Buena packs. We're trying to gather 3,300 spaghetti packs so that kasi yung isang pack can feed mga 10 PDLs, di ba, 10 persons. So we plan to come up with 3,300 Noche Buena packs so that lahat ng PDLs in all camps here in Bilibid and in CAW will get to share a Noche Buena pack, Noche Buena food on December 24. So yun yung isang sa plano namin. And yung tinawagan ni Junji na parang give joy, parang this Christmas, parang to share joy this Christmas, parang, and it's amazing how parang yun lang yung simpleng desire namin pero ang daming nagpaparamdam or nagka-communicate sa amin na gusto magbigay, no? Parang yun yung siguro yung aking pagninilay rin itong pandemic, that although many people were forced to stay in their homes, parang naging bilanggo rin. What made people free or think about those in prison was siguro parang experience din nila of how it means to be imprisoned in a way. No? Kaya sabi ko parang kaya mas daming nag-donate, mas maraming naging sensitive to those behind bars especially. Sinasabi nga namin yung mga nalikom ng mga donations in cash and in kind before COVID was much smaller compared to what the donations that came in during this pandemic. No? Parang kaya naging sobrang busy rin kasi parang nakakatulala na, no? ang volume and frequency of the donations. And it's not just the rich or wealthy or affluent people who donate, but even the simple people, no? Wanting to share. So yung parang kung nakulong man yung mga katawan natin, no? Sa mga bahay natin, people went out of the way to donate to those in prison. So yun yung nakakatuwa, yun yung consolation ko. Parang mahirap yung buhay, pero for people to go out of their way to share, to make those behind bars feel that they are not forgotten, nakakatuwa. That's why ito nga, yung darating na Pasko, we hope to remind our PDLs that they are not forgotten, that they are people who love them, and much more a God who loves them more than anything else, and they're not seen for their crimes, they're not seen or judged by their sin, but they are seen as human beings, as God's creatures, as God's children. So, yun yung plano. Na sana, kahit hirap, kahit nakabilanggo, and some camps are still on lockdown, or yung iba, hindi pa rin nakakalabas sa kanilang mga selda. Hopefully, this little gift of Noche Buena this Christmas will remind them that they're not forgotten, that God is indeed alive. Kaya even this week, just to share, we gathered also donations in cash and in kind for bath soap and laundry soap for all PDLs. So parang maagang pamasko namin this week sa lahat ng kampo, pati CIW. So yun yung patikim, small things, but things that matter. Kaya we believe that the Noche Buena pack, pasta, sauce, cheese, tapos a can of corned beef maybe. Simple lang siya, pero di ba kesa wala. I think that's one of the things I value and I treasure here in Bilibid, to see how the PDLs appreciate the little things, get to acknowledge relationships that they've taken for granted before. And it's, dati naman akong iyakin pa no-office pa ako. Pero dito mas naging iyakin ako sobra, no? And maybe, kaya siguro, Bilibid stories, kaya people say, umiyak ka ba nung nagsusulat ka? Kasi, totoo, no? It has opened my heart and my soul to see God's presence in these people. And one of the things that I've said with people when I get to share is I've way before believed and continue to believe that I am loved so much by our God, and for Him to put me here in this place is a sign of His love. Parang sobra lang akong swerte and sobrang blessed to be here. And on my 10th Christmas here, I've learned to accept the reality that this is, sabi ko at the start, this is the most difficult and perhaps loneliest time of the year for PDLs. But that's why I hope and I pray that the little things I do and the PGPS does and all people outside is to help the PDLs remember that they are cared for, that they are remembered. And Jesus is amongst them.
Ayun. Kuya Bok, pwede ko bang i-share yung pinadala mong picture?
Sige, para ma-promote natin.
Para ma-promote natin
project ng PJPS.
Project ng PJPS, no? So, for our katipuneros who are watching us online, so ito yung Christmas package na kinukwento ni Father Eli. So, you have there yun, the spaghetti, the cheese, the corned beef. For those who wish to donate, you have the account there of PJPS, and also you can donate via GCash, no? And if I remember correct, tama ba, Father Eli, each pack costs around 250 pesos. Kahit kaming mga scholastics pwede mag-donate, kaya na kaming allowance.
Yung may mga tao nagdo-donate lang, sabi na, kaya ko lang 2 Noche Buena pack. So, may iba isa, may iba 10, may iba 100, may iba 200 gift pack, Noche Buena pack. So, it's nakakatuwa.
Okay. Ayun. So, for those who wish to donate, yan, Metro Bank or via GCash. Or bumisita na rin kayo sa Facebook page ng PJPS and follow also Father Eli Lumbo and his Bilibid Stories on Facebook. Ayun. Ano pang meron?
Alam mo,
Kuya
Ed, parang lahat tayo, I think we're fired up na hopefully, God willing, when we're ordained, baka ma-assign tayo sa Bilibid and we get to experience all of those very consoling moments, no? Ng mga sinishare
Ang
ni
yaman ng
Father
pagbabahagi ni Father. At ramdam na ramdam natin yung galak at tuwa sa puso niya sa napakahabang panahon na nandyan siya sa PJPS para mag-minister sa ating mga kaibigan sa loob ng Bilibid. Father, may tanong lang ako. Siguro huli na dahil patapos na yung ating oras. Dahil may pandemic nga at hindi pwedeng bisitahin yung ating mga PDLs, di kagaya dati na may mga grupo, lalong-lalo na mula sa mga eskwelahan na pumupunta dyan. Ano yung mga paraan para manatiling konektado yung mga tao na nakikinig sa atin sa mga kwento ng ating mga kaibigan dyan sa PJPS, Father? Ano yung mga iba pang paraan para sila ay makatulong sa ating mga kaibigan dyan sa PJPS? May mga programa pa kayo apart from your Christmas drive na pwede nilang tignan at salihan?
To get connected. Yung sa ngayon kasi parang unti-unti nang bumabalik, no? Although wala pa talagang dalaw. So family visits and outreach programs are not still allowed, pero pinapayagan na yung pagpaabot, yung they come here and they leave at the gates yung pagkain or ano. So it's slowly getting back to normal in a way. Pero at siyempre iba pa rin yung physical mo, nakikita yung mahal mo sa buhay, di ba? And talking with them. Pero sa ngayon, at least perhaps we have to be content with at least na napapayagan na yung bigay ng pagkain o sulat o yung mga tinatawag na spark madala kasi kaya may gasusin yung ibang tao sa loob, di ba? But in terms of helping the programs of PJPS, siguro para sa akin mahalaga ay ipagdasal ito, no, that we've been here, the PJPS have been here in Bilibid for over 26 years now. So I pray that for me prayer is very important, that the Lord continues to use us to give hope. Di ba yung tagline ng PGPS is rebuilding lives, rekindling hope, and restoring dignity. So I hope and I pray that the support and prayers of people will help us continue live up to this calling, to this ministry. Kasi sabi ko nga, nakakapagod pero very inspiring, it can be challenging and sometimes disappointing kasi hindi naman lahat talaga nagbabago, nakikinig, di ba? But we can never give up on them, di ba? We all deserve second chances or third chances or fourth chances or how many chances in life. So, isa yun, yung dasal talaga, no? Kasi when I'd like to share that, ito na talaga kong sasabihin na dasal kasi the PDLs are one of the things that they devote their time to is prayer. So much so that I believe that we should also pray for the PDLs and for institutions or groups like PJPS who do our part to make the PDLs believe in the love of God, in the power of prayer. So, yung dasal talaga, no? Importante. Kahit yung may mga messages, emails, no, na kaya sasabi lang, we pray for you, we pray for PJPS. Para sa akin, okay, malaking bagay yun eh. No? So, tapos yung like just today, I think I got an email na kasi we have a recollection this Saturday, to be facilitated by Ernald, Father Ernald Andal. So recollection, online recollection siya. And this person registered to join the recollection for sa prison ministry. Tapos sabi niya, may bayad pa. Sabi ko, wala. No? But of course, it will not stop. I won't stop you from sharing whatever you want to share. No? So, kasi, hindi pa, kahit maliit man yan, I believe that there's no donation that is too small. Kasi the important thing is the hope that is given, the life that is rebuilt because of the donation, because of the generosity of people. So we can never measure the impact of donation, however small or big that is, based on the change and the hope that's given a person. So yun, kung ano pa pwede matulong, to share like what kaya ako I accept invitations like this because it's an opportunity to share the ministry. So I ask people also to share the prison ministry, to talk about it, and those who have been inside to share their stories of their interactions with people of the PDLs. Kasi it's a concrete testimony that, as you guys mentioned earlier, yung marinig nyo yung kwento nila. So I think that's very important for people to share the stories, to in a way publicize the stories, so that it's not anymore just the negativities that we hear about, but also the good things that happens in prison. One of my recent stories is parang yung kwento ng I shared there how one PDL talked with me after the Mass in Maximum and said, "Father, feeling ko nasa langit ako." And looking back now, I would say that, di ba people would say parang impyerno ang bilibid? But I would say it's heaven on earth. Di ba? I'm in heaven here. No? Parang, it's a very difficult ministry, to be honest about it. Challenging, frustrating at times. But to see how God is here, how lives change, how hope is rekindled, how relationships are reconnected, how faith is deepened, I could say that this is heaven on earth. I'm in heaven, so to speak. So yun, yung magkwento, to share stories of your experiences here, to open our minds and hearts, and not to judge people because of the little we know, and we have so much time, so ask, know the stories, know the people, don't be hasty to judge. So yan, ewan ko kung nasagot ko yung tanong, pero I think magkwento. Yun.
Thank you, Father Eli.
Thank you, Father.
You've truly, helped us in our Advent preparation. All of these beautiful experiences and insights and realizations that you have shared with us, with your ministry in the PJPS. At siguro sa atin din, yung panalangin din talaga, tayo din na panalangin din natin ang ating mga PDLs, ang kanilang mga pamilya, at ang mga taong tumutulong sa kanila.
Ayun. Thank you, Father Eli, and thank you na rin sa lahat ng mga sumabaybay sa atin ngayong umaga. Ayun. Sa ating kahuli-hulihang episode dito ngayon sa Radyo Katipunan. Kaya bago kami magpaalam ay isang maligayang Pasko sa lahat ng mga katipuneros na nakisubaybay sa atin itong taong ito, At maraming salamat muli, Father Eli. So kung mukhang manananghalian na yata kasi yung mga tao, mga alas 12 na. Kaya sa puntong ito, kami po ay nagpapasalamat muli at advanced Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all those who are following us on Radyo Katipunan. Muli, ako po si Brother Ed Colmenares.
Ako naman po si Brother Bok Arandia.
At ako naman po si Brother Carlo Lakang. Maligayang Pasko sa lahat.
Merry Christmas
at maraming
po.
Salamat po. Thank you also, Father Eli. Thank you.
Thank you, Father.
Bye. Merry Christmas. God bless.
Palalimin ang kamalayan sa mga isyong napapanahon. Makisangkot at makiisa kasama ang Simbahang Lingkod ng Bayan, ang Socio-Political Apostolate ng Kapisanan ni Hesus. Ito ang Kuwentuhang Bayan mula alas 11 ng umaga tuwing Biyernes dito lang sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Dahil naniniwala kami na posible ang isang mas mabuting lipunan at maaari itong simulan sa isang kwentuhan.